Silly me. This week, Doc from Neutrog is here and he's going to talk about the control of weeds via good soil microbes. Are you there, Yui?
G'day, Sandra. How are you?
I'm fine. Tell us, soil microbes are so important. You've got to encourage them.
Well, that's right. I think, as gardeners, we all struggle with weeds, and in the end, many people just end up using a form of herbicide. So I guess in many ways, the first question should be, why are weeds such a problem? And there's a number of issues. I mean, first, weeds often have a very large number of seeds. We all know that. And unlike other plants, the weed seeds often don't germinate, or they germinate over a number of years. So I guess that's where the old saying comes from, that one year seed is 7 years weeds.
Yeah.
That's right. And so, the other thing is that most seeds, once they're left on the ground, they get eaten by insects or even attacked by microbes. But that doesn't really seem to happen for weed seeds.
So why don't weed seeds get sort of degraded by bacteria or fungi?
Well, it turns out that weed seeds often have a very hard coat, so that's essentially a physical barrier.
Oh, yeah.
But some weed seeds actually have compounds in them that inhibit or even kill soil microbes, and others use antagonistic soil microbes. So in effect, the weeds are using a subset of microbes to stop being attacked by soil bacteria, and that would otherwise break down that seed and the seed coat. So attacking the seeds themselves is almost impossible. People have tried to make inoculants to kill these, but with very little success. There is a solution, however, in that weeds are at the most vulnerable when they're just germinating, and this is where they can be controlled.
Because we've all got them, and I assume that, soil microbial diversity plays a role here.
Exactly. So when it comes to having that biological diversity, that's really critical. It seems to be counterintuitive, but it turns out that if you apply things like mulches and compost, besides suppressing the weeds physically, they actually reduce the survival of weeds. Now, normally you would expect that opposite effect, but what you actually see is you see an increase in the growth of desirable plants and a decrease in weeds. Now, we don't really know why, but it would appear that some data suggests that there's a subset of bacteria that invade the roots of weeds specifically, and instead of living with them in harmony, they actually destroy the roots. And so using something like hoof-lung dung, it acts in two ways. So you suppress the germination and the growth of the weeds, and secondly, by stimulating that soil microbial diversity, you're encouraging the growth of these anti-weed bacteria. So again, like with all biological controls, it takes a little while to build up that soil carbon and that microbial life, but after using hoof-lung dung, you're likely to see a much healthier plant, and in fact, fewer weeds, full stop.
So using compost or mulches like hoof-lung dung can have that double impact on weeds by suppressing their growth, stimulating soil microbes to help control weeds. Hoof-lung dung. I'm about to do that. I've got that there on the garden already from Neutrog, available at Bunnings, other hardware outlets, and of course all good garden centres have it.